Welcome to the Get Carried Algalon Star Killing Guide. I'm Tandor. The first thing you need to know as the Star Killer is that there can only be 4 stars alive at once, and what this means is we can build a plan that revolves around killing stars shortly after they would have respawned, thus making it so we have far fewer stars to kill throughout the fight. Our strategy for killing stars winds up being pretty simple. We kill a star immediately once they spawn, we wait for a Cosmic Smash to go out, wait for the raid to be healed a little bit, we kill another star as soon as we can, and then we simply wait until the first 2 stars that we just killed respawn. Once these stars have respawned, you then turn and you kill one of the older stars, thus causing it to not be respawned in the first respawn cycle. Now we have 3 of the 4 first stars dead, 2 have respawned, and we have a big bang coming up shortly. You now have a choice of deciding between killing the star while you're in the black hole, or you can just let it rot completely and it will die roughly 15 to 20 seconds after the black hole ends. So far in our experience, we found that you really only need 2 paladins to bring raid cooldowns for a combined total of 3 raid cooldowns. And the way you can separate these is, during the first phase, you can kill a star without using a cooldown at all, wait for Cosmic. The next star you kill, you can optionally choose to use a cooldown on this one, or you can actually eat this one without a cooldown also, because there's a very large gap between the second star dying and the third star dying. When the third star dies, you do want to have a Holy or Prop Paladin use Divine Guardian on the raid, because you're going to be hit with both a Cosmic Smash and a Collapsing Star Explosion at the same time. If you choose to kill a star while you're inside the Big Bang, you don't need a cooldown for this one, but if you optionally let this star rot, you may want to use some sort of cooldown coming out of it, depending on if your raid is topped off. Now we've done all the preparation work needed to ensure that the rest of the fight can go very smoothly. We're only going to get 2 collapsing stars exploding between each Big Bang, which means we can use an Aura Mastery for one and a DG for the next, and then we can repeat this until the boss is dead. I highly recommend always killing your stars in the first phase in the exact same order, starting with the bottom left star, then the top left star shortly after the Cosmic Smash. Then you can do about 20% damage to the top right star, and this allows you to kill it easily after the first 2 stars respawn. And then we save the bottom right star for when we go into the Big Bang, or shortly after the Big Bang. Instead of fighting uphill against Incidental Cleave, we tank the boss on the left where the first star is going to die. This allows Melee and our Boomkin, who we also position off to the left, to use Starfall and Cleave and stuff like that. The star still needs to die as soon as it spawns, and then as soon as it dies, we can move it up to position 2, cleave off of star 2, or you can actually leave the boss in position 1, and your Star Killer can handle star 2 as well. Alright, so we've survived the first Big Bang, and now we can enter into a cycle that is very similar to the first one, except for we only have to manage 2 stars from now on. Just like in the first phase, we can simply cleave the star that the boss is standing next to, and we can now ignore the top left star. So the star number 2, we can ignore it completely, and the bottom right star we can also ignore completely. Whoever your Star Killer is, they can do about 20% damage to the top right star, and what this does is we're going to cleave down the first one. Once it dies, we have a gap between the time when that one and star 2 will die. There's still a natural gap between when star 2 and star 3 will die. We've done a little bit of damage to star 3, so now there's a gap created between star 3 and star 4. Since we're intentionally ignoring stars 3 and star 4 during this cycle, it means that they won't even die naturally until after the second Big Bang. So we don't have to use cooldowns for these ones at all. We only need to use a cooldown for stars 1 and stars 2, the one we cleave and the one we ignore. So you made it through the second Big Bang. Now what you need to know is that you're going to ignore the front 2 adds. We don't actually want to cleave this one at all. Melee, that's you. Don't Pestilence, don't D&D them. Tank, you can actually move it away from it so we don't accidentally hit it. We don't want it to die early. Boomkin, don't Starfall. Since we already did 20% of the top right star's health, that means that should be the next star that dies. What we can do is we can use an AM or a DG for that one, and then, since it was 20% done, about 20 seconds later, the bottom right star will die naturally. If we do accidentally cleave that bottom left star, it's okay. It just means when you come out of the black hole for the third Big Bang, it means that you will probably have another star dying that might not have needed to be killed. So once we come out of this third big bang, as long as we have not cleaved the front left star too much, we can just ignore it and push the boss to 20%. If, however, our damage is really low on boss, we can cleave that star a little bit just to ensure that it dies a little bit separated from the top left star, star number 2. Congratulations, your job as the star killer should now be complete. If you need to kill any more stars, you likely will not meet the enrage check. Now I'm going to show you a POV of me killing stars on my mage. This was my first time killing stars, so I was not perfect at it. I also am not a good mage, so bear with me on that. The video footage is from a 10-man, but all that has been said and all that is done in this video does apply to 25-man as well. So the first thing we do, we immediately drag the boss to the wall. Everybody DPSs like normal, and we're just waiting for the first star to spawn. Once the star spawned, we mark a skull. It's the front left one. All of our range turn, our melee cleave it. It's fine, we get away from it, and we don't use any cooldowns for this one because it's just not needed. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to wait for Cosmic Smash. Cosmic Smash is going out right now. I was actually a bit slow on this star. I should have already done quite a bit of damage to it. So now we call for all the range to turn and hit this star. And I don't think we use a cooldown for this one either. But you can in a 25-man scenario because you just have a lot of cooldowns to burn. It looks like we do use a DG in this case. That star was extremely late though, so we took a lot more damage than we needed to, and we have a Cosmic Smash coming shortly after, which is, we would have normally been topped off. So now I'm going to turn, I'm going to do about 10 to 20% damage to the third star, and then I'm going to swap back to the boss. That star, we're not looking to kill it until after the ads respawn, and the ads will actually respawn at about the same time that your second tank takes their first phase punch. So you can see that the one tank has 4 stacks. We know the other tank is going to taunt, and then pretty soon we're going to get the Cosmic Star, or the Collapsing Stars respawn. There they are. The Collapsing Stars just respawned. So now we are turning and immediately killing this star. This is the one we would have normally wanted to DG since it lines up with the Cosmic, but as you can see, we just didn't use cooldown. So it looks like our Warlock also missed the black hole here. So we let that star rot, we come out, and then about 20 seconds later, that star is going to naturally die because it has not taken any cleave at all. You can use its health as a countdown timer. It loses 1% of its health per second, so you know if it has 5% health or less, you can call for a raid cooldown. So now we cleave the front left star a little bit. Both stars might drift into melee, and that's okay. You don't cleave them too hard, it's just you want one of them to be cleaved a bit more than the other one. So now that it's out, we can see that they are separated by roughly, 20 or 30% health. And we should be able to just ignore these stars altogether. I don't know what I was doing. And there we go. We didn't even use a cooldown, and everything was fine. Now that star number 2, it looks like it has about 30% health, so you know it's going to die in about 30 seconds. And we just ignore it and pump the boss. The living constellations are not that big of a deal. I think our tank might be closing them. Yeah, it looks like our cat went and did it. But they really don't need to be closed. You'll have, 4 or 5 of them alive at one time, but it's not a big deal because we're not killing very many stars. In that spot, I turned and executed that star because I saw that the raid cooldown went up. So I just hit it with an arcane missiles to make sure that it died while the raid cooldown's up. I Frost Nova the constellations here, and then we run in. Okay, so this is where I should turn and do damage to one of the back stars because we know that they may expire, but I looked at the boss's health, I saw that he had 30% HP, and we decided just don't even touch the back stars. They won't expire in time, so we can just push the boss into his next phase. For a first kill, maybe a 25-man kill, you might want to do a little bit of damage to what would have been the third star, just so they are staggered. You can see here the boss is about to transition, so we all get near the wall. That way nobody gets phased. Looks like Holy Pally was late, so they got phased, but they were able to bubble out of it. And we had all of the casters pretty much... I didn't have to as a mage, but we had the healers stack on the Consecrate. That way they could have all the ads picked up off of them. We also bopped the Priest and the Holy Pally bubbled. That way they don't die. I think this winds up being an extremely sloppy kill. I don't remember why... It looks like healers just let the tank die during Cosmic. That happens. Healers need to be on the ball. But yeah, from a star killing perspective, it winds up being pretty simple. This was my first time doing it. If you're interested in any more guides like this, like, comment, subscribe, let me know, and have a good one.